days ago, Helen Fielding released her second novel, Bridget Jones's Diary, a semi-autobiographical romantic comedy about the trials and tribulations of a 30-something single woman living in London. But whenever you think of Bridget Jones's Diary, I'm sure the first thing that comes to your head is the 2001 film adaptation of the same name, and for a very good reason. It is physically impossible to dislike Bridget Jones's Diary. This movie is lightning in the bottle levels of feel-good, sugary sweet, romantic, comedic, female empowering flawlessness. American actress Renee Zellweger delivers an eerily convincing performance as the titular British heroine. Hugh Grant is fantastically smug as fake-out love interest Daniel Cleaver, and Colin Firth's Mark Darcy is basically a human puppy dog. And Bridget Jones herself is an excellent character. She starts off as an insecure singleton worried about her life, her body and how others see her, but as the movie goes on, she manages to conquer her fears, all while embracing her faults and being true to herself. The slow-burning love story between Bridget and Mark is charming as hell, and the film's overall message of never underestimating yourself or others still resonates with women everywhere 2 decades on. It's basically perfect. Fielding eventually wrote a sequel to Bridget Jones's Diary a few years later, and it was okay. It wasn't terrible or anything, but considering what an amazing standalone its predecessor was, it simply didn't have any reason to exist. But nevertheless, this pointless follow-up of a book soon resulted in a pointless follow-up of a movie adaptation. I am of course referring to Bridget Jones, The Edge of Reason.
All that I have is all that you've given me.
Remember all those things about Bridget Jones's Diary that you knew and loved, like the relatable comedy and the love triangle, and Bridget having to juggle relationship dilemmas with her own social awkwardness? But what if we recycled those same old plot beats and amplified them all the way up to 11? From turning the adorably clumsy Bridget into a slightly neurotic liability, to replacing the witty, down-to-earth humour with dumb, over-the-top shenanigans, or just letting some pointless drama and misunderstandings get in the way of Bridget and Mark's fairy tale ending from before. Because who cares about happily ever after when there's money to be made from an unnecessary continuation that drags out an already decent story way further than it should have been? And since how early this month saw the release of another Bridget Jones movie, I thought it was appropriate to revisit the sequel that critics forgot and find out whether it was really all that bad, or if it's the kind of film that serves to die fat and alone and be found 3 weeks later, half-eaten by wild dogs. This is Poindexta, and this is Bridget Jones, The Edge of Reason. With Bridget reluctantly going to her mother's turkey curry buffet and having to deal with awkward interactions with eccentric relatives. Just like in Bridget Jones's Diary, except that this time, she's not all by herself anymore.
Nice jumper.
My mother's taste never falters.
Yes, Bridget and Mark are together at last, and so far, everything seems to be going just fine.
The fact is, I've been in a functional relationship with an adult male for 6 wonderful weeks. As you can see, the incredible truth is, the wilderness years are over. Bridget Jones is a love pariah no more.
Then why does this sequel exist? Everything's turned out perfectly for Bridget Jones. Her story should be over now. Case closed, court dismissed, bring in the dancing lobsters. But nonetheless, it looks as though Bridget has struck lucky in the job department too, when her boss tells her that the higher-ups love the work she's been doing as a reporter for their show and want to give her a regular spot. However, Bridget is much more distracted by what's on TV, where we see that Hugh Grant has somehow managed to score the lead role in a Jeremy Clarkson biopic.
Forget the Forum. Definitely forget the Colosseum. No fun at all now they're not allowed to torture Christians anymore. Forget the Sistine Chapel. First example in history of puff interior designer gone bonkers.
Somewhere, a million Tumblr users are screaming in agony and they don't know why. Shh.
What is Daniel Cleaver doing on the television?
It's called The Smooth Guide, making culture bearable.
Same old creep.
A shame. He always speaks very warmly of you.
Oh, I'm sure Daniel speaks very warmly of her. I mean, who wouldn't want to reminisce about the good old days? Like the time that she said that she'd rather have a job wiping Saddam Hussein's arse than be with him, or the time that he tried to crash her birthday party and subsequently got the shit kicked out of him by her new boyfriend. The last one must be a hit at parties. Anyway, who cares about Daniel? Bridget's with Mark now, and there's not a single person out there who wants to see their happy relationship come to an end.
Chuck him. Well, you're still ahead and not pregnant with his unwanted child.
Wait, what?
I only said he was working late.
Oh, that's his story.
Friends, they spend years trying to find you a boyfriend, but the moment you get one, they instantly tell you to dump him.
Even if he isn't shagging her already, Bridge, he's thinking about it.
That's funny, because last time we saw these so-called friends of yours, Bridget, they were literally cheering you on after you and Mark finally got together. I'm sure they only want what's best for you, but there's a fine line between being a well-intentioned mother hen and being a mollycoddling pessimist. While Bridget doesn't seem to care what they say about her or Mark, there is one person out there who has the complete opposite effect on her.
Janie Osborne. Talking to her is like swimming in a sea and being stung repeatedly by an enormous jellyfish.
You must be so pleased to have a boyfriend at last.
First jellyfish of the evening.
Is he taking you to the Law Council dinner? Oh, well, I'm sure he's just forgotten. I'll just start slimming into that dress. So he's giving you the night off to cheer up all your single friends.
Hello, pointless one-scene character that serves no purpose in the movie other than to be a snooty bitch.
Actually, he's got a big case on, trying to get everyone in Mexico out of prison. We're meeting for a very late romantic dinner.
Really? That's so odd, because I saw him just an hour ago going into his house with little Rebecca Gillies. She's only 22. She's got legs up to here. And Daddy owns half of Australia. See you, babes.
Goodbye, pointless one-scene character that serves no purpose in the movie other than to be a snooty bitch and spew dramatic exposition. I'm so invested in her story. Bridget starts to worry that Mark really is cheating on her, so her friend suggests that she do the following.
Go over there immediately and ask him, straight out, are you or are you not having an affair with Rebecca Gillies? If he says...
I won't dignify that question with an answer.
Then you know he's shagging her.
Well, that's a bad idea. A really, really, really bad idea. I mean, come on, you'd have to be like this totally obsessive paranoid to just rush off to your boyfriend's house late at night just because you're worried he might be seeing someone else.
All that I have is all that you give.
Oh no.
I see you across the street, and I can't help but wonder.
Wow, Bridget climbing up on the roof of Mark's house while peering into the windows just has true love written all over it. Either that or Axe Crazy Cat Burglar, I can never tell which.
When you realize you're not the only one.
Okay, let's get on with it, shall we?
It's a misunderstanding.
You better stop before
You are very demanding, man.
It's a misunderstanding. That slapstick was done, and so is this scene, because once again, it's a misunderstanding. So Bridget finally knocks on the door like a normal person, and guess what she finds out?
Right.
Bridget.
Hello, Mark. Hello, lawyers who work with Mark.
Oh my god, it was a misunderstanding all this time. Who could have seen that coming? Luckily, Mark immediately forgives Bridget for her little creeper moment and invites her to the Law Council dinner after all. And it's a good thing that their relationship is still as idyllic as ever, because if I'm going to be totally honest and totally girly for 1 second, then I have to admit, all the scenes with Bridget and Mark together are so cute. They already had nice chemistry in the first movie before they even started dating, but now that they're officially a couple, their cuteness has only just gotten bigger and bigger, and it's just so...
all the time I knew that you loved me, and you promised me
I miss you too.
They got so deep after all. I mean, yes, I am mean. Anyway, Bridget bumps into Daniel while at work, and naturally, she's not a single bit pleased to see her arsehole of an ex-boyfriend again.
Thought you hated television.
I hate watching television. Being on it is a... Hello there. an entirely different proposition.
Oh, Daniel, the Madrid piece was outstanding, full of insights, really original.
Oh, cheers, Jeremy. Thanks, mate. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Lads worked really hard on that one.
Well, that was a pointless celebrity cameo.
Still shagging anything that moves.
As a matter of fact, no shagging whatsoever. I'm in shag therapy. It turns out I have a problem. I'm trying to be a better man, Bridge, so that the next time a better woman comes along, I won't make a pig's ear of it.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god, stop fucking lying.
But going back to the subject of pointless celebrity cameos, look who else is in this film.
I can't wear that. Bridge, do you want to get married and have babies before you become barren or not? Trust me.
Yep, that really is Jessica Stevenson playing another one of Bridget's friends, an actor, a recurring character from the original books who has since been reduced to a 30-second guest spot. I don't know, maybe Jessica Stevenson was on her lunch break while filming according to Bex, and she just had to escape to a slightly better comedy. Bridget has a difficult time getting ready for the Law Council dinner, but things grow even more catastrophic once she arrives, after her attempt to apply makeup in the backseat of a moving taxi goes about as well as you'd expect.
Hi. Sorry I'm late. Hello.
Bridget, I think we should go to the ladies.
Not good.
Hey, that's the exact shade of red the audience went after sitting through all the scenes in this film where the humour relies on nothing but forced cringe comedy. Like this one right here.
Horatio, Camilla.
Horatio was just saying he's totally against charitable giving.
Oh my god, who on earth introduces someone to guests by casually mentioning the worst possible thing about them like it's no big deal? I mean, can you imagine going up to someone at a party and being like, hey, have you met my friend Tina? She likes to run over kittens in her spare time. And this is her brother Charles. He thinks that all rape victims are really just asking for it. And over here is Dr. Bartholomew Jeffries. He preferred Suicide Squad over Deadpool. I really need to get out more often.
The people you see outside the tube every day are there by choice. End of story.
Oh, no, it's not. You see, some people have terrible personal problems, and some people are just plain hopeless. Honestly, this is the sort of rubbish you'd expect from some fat, balding, Tory, home counties, upper middle class twits.
Now, the weird thing about this bit of the film is that in the original novel, the Law Council dinner actually happens on the night after Tony Blair was elected Prime Minister, as the story itself took place in the year 1997. So Bridget making fun of bulging upper-class Tories and consequently embarrassing herself both makes sense in context and is more entertainingly awkward because of it. Of course, I can think of several good reasons why this particular scene would be changed for the movie, but here, Bridget just comes across as this tactless moron with no social skills, regardless of whether Lord Snooty Pants hates poor people. And as if being utterly humiliated in front of everybody wasn't enough, Bridget grows jealous after seeing Mark acting very friendly towards Rebecca, and the two of them get into an argument on the way back.
And I suppose you agree with them that poor people deserve to be poor.
Don't be ridiculous.
So now I'm ridiculous.
Yes, tonight you were a little.
Well, tonight you were an arrogant ass.
Good night. If you had asked me tonight, I'd have said no anyway.
Asked you what? Bridget? Asked you what?
Yeah, Bridget, ask him what? Oh, wait a minute. Haven't you only been dating him for like 6 weeks? Bridget, Mark's not going to propose to you after 6 weeks of dating. That is way too soon. What do you think this is, a romantic comedy? Wait. And yet this scene is really emotional, especially afterwards when Bridget tries leaving a voicemail for Mark once she gets home, but then the doorbell rings and it turns out that it's actually Mark, and he's standing outside her apartment, and then he tells her that he loves her for the first time.
I love you.
What?
I said I love you.
I'm sorry, I missed that again.
I said I love you, for God's sake.
He did it! He said I love you! inside, and even those teenage boys are cheering, and Bridget later squeezed about it over the phone to her sassy gay friend Dr. Gaius, and it's so adorable, I love this movie. No! I am reviewing this movie for the show that I do on YouTube, which obviously means that I do not love it one bit. At all. So, shut up.
There was a very important question I wanted to ask you tonight.
Oh, really?
Yes. Darling Bridget. Would you like to go on a skiing mini break?
What did you expect? A diamond ring? Again, 6 weeks. Mark and Bridget go on their ski holiday in Austria together, and we find out that Bridget may have told a slight lie about being an experienced skier. So, of course, hilarity ensues.
Bridget! Rebecca!
Oh, and Rebecca's here too now. She does nothing in this scene. She's just there to make Bridget feel shit about herself, because this movie's pacing seems to work on a sliding scale between serious emotional complications and cutesy wacky shenanigans. See for yourself.
8 weeks of total undisturbed sex. Wait a minute. No. 8 weeks? It couldn't be, could it? Oh, God. I'm pregnant.
Serious emotional complications. Cutesy wacky shenanigans. Congratulations, Bridget! You just won first prize for the most cringe-inducing scene of comedic life endangerment until the other woman 10 years from now. So later that evening, Bridget reveals to Mark that she might be pregnant, and they both eagerly await the results of the pregnancy test with nothing but joy. At first...
I suppose I always had, the fantasy of a son. I could teach him to play cricket and rugby and visit him at Eton on St Andrew's Day.
Eton?
Darcy men have been going to Eton for 5 generations.
Well, my son's not going to be sent away from home. Especially to some fascist institution where they stick a poker up your arse that you're not allowed to remove for the rest of your life.
So what's the alternative? Sleeping in his parents' bed and breastfeeding until he's a teenager whilst attending some progressive school where the entire day is spent singing Yellow Submarine and practicing group masturbation.
Hey, calm down, calm down. How about this for an agreement? You're both close-minded snobs.
Oh, you're absolutely right. It would be madness to allow a child to enjoy his education or live with his parents.
What would be madness is to have a child at all if his parents can't have the slightest discussion about anything without one of them shouting at the other.
If you two don't stop arguing right this instant, I will be forced to use the wire coat hammer, and then nobody will be having a baby, okay?
It's negative.
Negative.
It's too bad.
Yes, very sad.
Oh, guess I didn't need this coat hanger after all. What? After they return home, Bridget and Mark have lunch with both their parents, and the subject of marriage gets awkwardly brought up.
When are you two lovebirds going to name the day?
Come on, Bridget, you must want to hear those ding-dong bells.
Well, we're certainly not thinking about that yet. Are we, Bridget?
Bridget is understandably hurt by Mark's insensitive response and later confronts him about it.
Did you mean that thing that you said?
What thing?
You know what thing.
No, I don't know what thing.
The thing.
Well, now, let's see. There are any number of things. An afternoon full of all sorts of things, so
Colin Firth, this is no time for your usual awkward Britishness. This is a very serious conversation.
I'm going to go to the loo. Then I'm going to come back. Then we're going to be civilised.
That's not helping either. But then Bridget hears a voicemail message from Rebecca asking if she can come over later and immediately fears the worst.
Are you or are you not having an affair with Rebecca Gillies?
I won't dignify that question with an answer.
Right.
Bridget! Bridget! That's not your coat.
Hey, just because it's a somber, heartbreaking scene doesn't mean we can't have some visual comedy.
Bridget, what are you doing?
I embarrass you. I can't ski, I can't ride, I can't speak Latin, my legs only come up to here, and yes, I will always be just a little bit fat. You look down your nose at absolutely everyone, and you're incapable of doing anything spontaneous or potentially affectionate.
No, don't blame Mark for his behaviour. Blame the screenwriters who decided to turn you two into simplified exaggerations of your old selves while pissing on your happily ever after with a rainstorm of easily resolvable inconveniences.
Do you want to marry me? You see, you can never muster the strength to fight for me.
Bridget? No. Bridget, where are you going? You can't just leave Mark. Bridget! Wait, so Bridget just broke up with Mark and now she has to go back to being a singleton while living in that one area of London filled with obvious CGI buildings?
It's sad, so sad. Why can't we talk it over, babe?
Why this?
When
This is not a happy sequel to a happy movie. I feel cheated. Miserable and cheated.